right, looks like we're started. So, this week I actually got my attention back on the block mining simulation game, so I have some significant updates on that. In fact, I might as well demo the punchline right now. So now, I've been talking about this for a while, I finally have a basic help menu user interface. Although there's obviously nothing in the help menu now, I can now, I'm pressing escape, and I have a toggleable frame-based help menu that shows up. So before this, this entire user interface was all just hard-coded offsets, and there was no kind of dynamic resizing or anything. And now it's 100% like a dynamic frame-based system. So before it was all the entire user interface was just a giant like set of print statements, but now they're all encapsulated in a separate class, and there's a separate user interface thread associated with each frame. So we have a multi-threaded help menu, and so that is the basic addition to this. I don't have it working as generically as I'd like, but here's a kind of another separate jar that I compiled with another demo. So this one demonstrates a bunch of different frames. So up here we have the same map. So this is the exact same game that I've been playing all along, and just have a bunch of demo frames and some vertical splits and horizontal splits. So all of the different frames can be generically moved around, or it'll be possible to move them around dynamically eventually. I just don't have a user interface feature to like move it between them. But the eventual idea is that you'll press some kind of button, probably escape maybe, and then it'll drop down the help menu, and then from that you can open other, like, I guess, frames or windows or whatever you want to call them. And also for this, this works as a series of vertical splits and horizontal splits. So then when I press escape, on the side here, you've got the same help menu. And I have this is kind of working as like a hard-coded case where I actually preset up these frames ahead of time, and then there's some it just creates the one thread. It's capable of creating the one thread for this frame, and then cleaning up the thread afterward. But in the future, the idea will be to make some kind of user interface so you can actually add new kinds of frames, and so you'll have a map and an inventory and whatever other kind of stuff you might want in a game. I'll probably at some point, one of the next things I'll need is like an actual crafting user interface. So this mechanism will be how exactly I will implement that. And so yeah, other than that, today I guess I will be just doing the same kind of testing. See, I guess even though it looks basically the same, there's still I think lots of potential for bugs. Actually, is it on this one? No, it's on the multi-frame one, I think. Yeah, just before I was testing, I noticed there's a bug down here where if the frame is drawn wrong. It turns out it's actually it's pretty challenging to do the logic to figure out how to draw these frames and connect them, in the abstract case, even when you have cases like this. So I wrote up an implementation for that, and then I realized it was subtly wrong in a bunch of ways, and then I refactored it, and it was still wrong. But it's getting closer. I think I just have an offset off by 1 down here. So yeah, other than that, that's what I worked on this week. I want to try to push to get to a point where I can actually say that I have completed the Kickstarter, and then I can move on to be able to do another Kickstarter for another feature in the game. Yeah, the UI is very much changed. Oh, look at that. It's deadlocked. That's not cool. So yeah, there's a bug. So it's not using CPU. Yeah, I encountered this before, and then I was trying to... I had been trying to reproduce it, but I couldn't. And then now that I'm live, it comes back. Yeah, I'm not sure what causes it. When I was looking at it before, it was something to do with one of the threads seemed like it was just spinning for no reason. And it was at 100% CPU, but this time it's not. So I don't know what's going on there. See if that comes back. So I don't have it implemented yet, but the eventual idea will be like right now when I send keyboard input, it's being it just iterates through every frame that's on screen and sends the input to it. And then if it like the inventory's getting all the keystrokes as well, but it just ignores them. And eventually I'm gonna just add like a focus variable, so whatever frame has the focus, when you press tab it'll switch between them. And then eventually from that I can implement the ability to select inventory items. So like right now when I do press P, it just presses it places a rock, but if you want to place something else, there's no way to actually select it. So it hasn't deadlocked again. That's going to be pretty annoying to debug. Just before I came up with the current version, I think I put some locks around a few things, and then some of my concurrency issues went away. I had a problem with one of the threads was not receiving the message to shut down, or just wasn't shutting down. I also massively changed how threads start up, so they start up a lot earlier in the current implementation. And that gives rise to the possibility for lots of new race conditions where certain things are not initialized. I think I used to have it set up so it would instantiate the threads and the thread state, and it would do a bunch of setup, and then later, before you actually launch the server and the client, it would do a request to collect the threads and then start them all at once. And that is now I changed that around because in preparation for making it so that with the ability to add new user interface items at runtime, and to add and remove things from the thread pool, I basically need a more kind of robust way to start a new thread at any time and clean it up at any time. Still no deadlocks. That's going to be that might be a nightmare to debug. I guess if it happens again, I'll have to attach the debugger to see where in the code it is. I appreciate your hard work. Thank you for the kind words. Gabagool. I've seen that a lot recently. It's the latest Sopranos meme. Although I guess I'm late to the party. I've been getting a lot of those Sopranos memes, but they're all like 7 months old now. I think that's what that's your handle is referring to. I'm a ghoul named Gaba. Oh, okay. My mistake. I guess it's in preparation for Halloween. Well, also since last time I fixed a bug where for quite a while it's been like when I load a large area, these unloaded chunks, it was getting stuck, and you'd have an area, if you didn't move on the map for a while, there'd be unloaded chunks, and when you moved again, they would get unstuck and load. And the issue there was I was using an if instead of a while, and I just had to change if to a while, and that fixed that bug. What am I planning to dress as for Halloween? That's a good question. I thought I could maybe do some like Halloween themed videos, but I've got a list of video topics I want to go through and work to catch up on. I don't know if I'll get to make them. Classic bunter, yes indeed. This reminds me of that old Flash game where you drilled the earth to find ores. I guess that's basically the premise of this game so far, although I'm not familiar with what Flash game that was. Motherlode. Oh, the Motherlode is the name? Huh. Yeah, maybe let me write that down. Flash. Yeah, I haven't played Flash games in a while. Does Flash even still work? I thought like Flash, a lot of Flash had it would cause like browser warnings and stuff. But I don't know. Maybe it's, yeah, I don't know. I actually did start messing around with trying to make an action script game back in the day, back when like Zynga games were popular on Facebook, and I was like, maybe this is the right strategy. Make a Flash game, make it go viral on Facebook, and hit it big that way. Just an extra click to enable Flash. Yeah, I don't even know what the user experience is for Flash games anymore. Yeah, and I mean, this game is in Java. It's kind of funny because the original premise with Java was you could run Java on the web in all these places. But now that's pretty much like a defunct thing. But I don't know, I think they'll probably end up bringing it back because it's cross-compiling and running everything in the browser is becoming cool again. Something that a feature that I think I really sorely need for the user interface is having an extra colored layer, so where you can see, you can see some like a shadow basically of like the layer below you, and you can tell where you can actually go down, and where there's blocks under the current block. I did actually try when I refactored the printing. Screen printing stuff. I added support for also making the text that you send arbitrary background colors. And so when I did that, I did try quickly to just have it check the block below, but it doesn't quite work because of the way the game loads. So what it would do is we would load the game, and then it would give you some of the it would correctly color some of the blocks, and in other places there'd be like gaps and stuff because at that time the chunk above it loaded, but the one didn't. The one below it didn't, and so it couldn't figure that out, and it's not correctly updating when the block under it loads. So it's that particular issue. It turns out to be a little bit tricky given how I have the rendering set up and the whole like flag stuff I have set for the way the cells are rendered. But I'll put it on my to-do list as one of the next things to improve. So I think it'll really improve the usability of the game. Give it a bit more texture and stuff to look at. Oh, and that the deadlock bug did not come back. That's interesting. Should add a mini-map. Yeah, I do feel it needs something like that. Although the issue is it's an infinite world, so there's no. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I could add like a kind of saved type of map. It's also not just X, Y. There's a 3 dimensions. So it's I do think it needs that feature, but I guess there's questions about like how it would be implemented and presented. Or I guess implementing it's not too bad, but I guess that is that feature is one I have thought a bit about. That kind of relates to the topic of like level of detail in these games, where you can like if you're looking at stuff far away, you can take like a big, like if you have these chunks, a large chunk of these rocks, you can to scale it out. If it's far away, you can represent it as just like one rock, or you can kind of average the pixels or something. And the way I have the game implemented is the database has more so it's got X, Y, and Z, but I have a couple other dimensions there. And the reason I made it that way is so that I can easily do stuff like that, where what I could do is, for implementing like I could just have the mini map. I could just have all the, like, basically when you load the map, it initializes the chunks, but then I could also initialize like the like an aggregate kind of smaller version of them. So for every there would just be a mapping on like on an extra dimension where it scales down the entire world and like basically compresses it, and then that could be the mini map. Maybe render around the player, like double the block distance screen. Yeah, I mean that is something I could implement. I guess I'm accumulating a significant list of stuff that I need to add, but oh, look at that, that's a bug. Why is there lines down here? I wonder if that's oh, you know what, that might be the inventory overflowing or something. Yeah, I can now that I have my help menu user interface, I can oh yeah, this is a bug too. I need to make it so it suppresses. If one frame overflows, then it doesn't disrupt the next one. But now that I have this framing system, then you could just add your own mini map. Yeah, the frame-based thing, I don't know if you saw the earlier part of the stream, but I just got that working like today. So I have this. In order to make a game, you have to view a user interface, and previously this thing was all just kind of hard coded. So this was like a, this is a fixed width of 10, but now it's now I have it like percentage based. And I have like a kind of generic horizontal splits and vertical splits, and so you could make them arbitrary, and they all have every frame has a separate thread. So now that I have the infrastructure for that, I can add a lot more interesting stuff, such as mini maps. But I've got some other kind of more pressing things that need to work first, like the fact that it's not possible to select inventory items, and also the fact that they're overflowing off the screen. I need to get that fixed and make it so you can actually like scrollable frames. That's that's something that has to be implemented. Nano DZ says hi from Washington State. How's it going? This is my favorite Linux streamer. Oh, thank you for the kind words. You love my voice. Oh, that's very kind of you to say. I guess I was blessed with. I'm glad I don't have an annoying voice. It's not like I can change my voice. But if you plan to like do YouTube or radio or something, and then you're born with a terrible voice, then it's game over for you. should narrate the next LinuxCon. I heard Krazam is going to host. Not sure who. That name looks familiar. I don't know where that's from. I don't know. In some ways, it would be kind of fun to go to some of those kind of events, but I don't know. At the same time, I kind of wonder if it would. I don't know. So many. So many like intense Linux engineers. I probably need to spend less time around those kinds of people. I like this game. That's good. I'm gonna try and get this to be the most popular game ever, and then I can make $1 billion. Man, I keep running out of wood. If you spam the digging button, can you go straight forward through blocks without stopping? I guess not really, because it's well, I guess it's limited by the keyboard auto repeating. So if you if I push down W, yeah, I have to keep. So I'll do it right now. Yeah, so it cancels the W. Yeah, so if I press W, now it's doing the keyboard auto repeat, but then I press M, and it cancels the W auto repeat. And I probably, I'm not sure. I probably will keep it that way. Well, I don't know. There's in order to so terminal input is like stream based, so there's no such thing as key up or key down events in a pure TTY environment. You have to you can actually detect key up and key down events in terminal. I have a whole blog, extensive long blog post about this topic because it was a whole rabbit hole, but basically you need more information to get the actual key events. You have to hook into some other like for example, over an SSH connection, you cannot, if you don't have X forwarding enabled, there's a case where you cannot detect the key up event because technically you don't know where those key up events would be coming from, whether they're coming from the local keyboard of the remote machine or a different machine. And that's what a whole X server system is for. E says, "Hello, Mr. Robert Elder. How's everyone doing?" I'm doing pretty good tonight. I'm glad I got. I feel very accomplished that I got that whole frame thing done, and I got those UI changes. Those were some like significant changes and hefty refactoring, but it's all done now and it works. It was difficult to debug too because in order to make the screen printing fast enough, like it's pretty smooth right now. I'm pleased by how smooth the movement is, but to make that work, I have to do like difference-based printing. So I print to a buffer, and then on subsequent prints, it checks to see if there's differences. So it remembers what is printed previously on the screen. So like for these blocks up here, like that for that block there, these blocks don't need to be reprinted. So when I move up one character, it's only printing. So it only prints like there's a line there, and then there's another line of blocks, and then also down here. So that gets printed. I guess so it would fill in those with blanks, and then these ones would be filled in with rocks, and the ones in the middle here, those are gonna not change. Auto run the last direction key pressed. Yeah, I guess you could. I mean, I could like with the whole, I'm thinking with the whole frame-based system. There's all kinds of like I could implement certain kinds of. I mean, I could have like a botting. I could make botting, like or scripting a part of the game itself. I mean, it would be, I think for a terminal-based game, like the whole, I guess, game aspect itself, for me, it doesn't necessarily need to be like a very sensible game, just like the act of like, simulation and storing data and stuff like that is, I think, I think there would be enough of a kind of niche following behind that. And then if I can get all that stuff working well, then I can build a game around it. But yeah, there could be like a whole thing, a whole feature in the game for like programming navigation. Like you could actually just write some code with like a little loop or something to like tell it to move around. And, that's an idea, but I've got to fix some of the usability issues first. I gotta get that help menu done. Actually, are any of you guys listening? Are you any of the Kickstarter pledgers? I know I have a loyal following of 14 people that pledged to this Kickstarter, and I got those pledges pretty quick. But then over the life of the campaign, it didn't get much new interest. And I guess the previous Kickstarter, I think there was like 20 people who pledged to that one. is the eating range 5 by 5 or 4 by 4. So the kind of quick and dirty rule that I added was so when you start the game, so if you have no pickaxes at all, then you just mine one block at a time, and then I think if you get a wooden pickaxe, you do a distance of 1, stone pickaxe distance of 2, and then like a 2 out from the player, and then iron pickaxe will put you out distance of 3, I think. So let's see, I got I'm on stone. I do M, so stone does 2, a distance of 2 out from the player. They're really kind of like made up rules that I don't have any balance in it at all. I just kind of put that in there to make, create some basic game mechanic. Glad I found this channel. The GNU Core Utils series is awesome. Well, thank you. It was quite a bit of work to do that, but I can add that to my list of accomplishments, and then now I can completely forget about all those commands now. All 108 approximately. I guess if there's new Core Utils commands added, I'll have to cover them too. But that's not quite as bad from starting from scratch. Let's see how hard it is to find ores just by going down. Oh, I guess that kind of works. Yeah, another to-do list item is to improve terrain generation. I guess I don't have any block types, but once I actually add a few more, it'll be I'll make it, I think, substantially more interesting. Every little like feature you can add, everything can like there's like a multiplicative benefit to adding every little new interesting thing. Oh, I guess I can also demo screen resize. This here is interesting. I wonder what is going on there. I'm in narrow. So that's not bad, but will it stay that way? Huh. Oh, that person that's supposed to be Kurt Gödel, the famous logician. Well, that series too. I'll use my Linux and virtual machines, but I found it very useful. when we learned Python in college, we never got to import anything. I think that's an all right starting point for Bash as well. Narrow down the starting tool set and evolve from there. Yeah, it's I would say my series is it's worth going through if you want to be really proficient at Linux. I guess that's quite laggy. If you want to be really proficient at Linux, I think it's definitely worth. You watch the whole playlist, the whole even though they're shorts, it's like a 2 hours to go through the entire set of core utils commands. But you'll definitely learn a thing or two about Linux from it. And I put quite a bit of I guess the first 50 of those shorts are not that great, but the ones after that I put quite a bit of work into trying to try to actually learn the command, try to find a use case for it, and try to present it in the most concise way possible. There's a few of those commands, there's almost no information. There's in a couple of cases, there's only one other YouTube video that someone made, and it was made 11 years ago, and it's got really terrible music on it, and it has size 2 font, so you can't see anything. Minesweeper, I bet that would be cool as hell to implement in this console-based game thing. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. It would be easy. It would be easy to implement that within the context of this. I could just add a block type for that, and then, yeah, the game mechanic would itself be very easy. But to answer your question, though, I don't. Minesweeper, I never got into that. It's just in my mind, it's almost like a good example of a game that I can't stand. It's just not enjoyable. Much rock. Indeed, there's an infinite number of rocks in this game. am I doing now? Hunting for bugs? Yeah, kind of just hunting for bugs. I've been making an attempt to do about an hour of. I try to do like an hour of live stream, and I'll probably try to keep that up for every Saturday. So it's on Saturdays I'll do my status report, do a little bit of streaming, bug test the game. I did find a couple bugs tonight. I had a deadlock that showed up like just when I started, and I thought it might come back again, but it hasn't. That's kind of a nasty bug. There's those frame bugs where I guess when I don't know what's going on with that down there. Yeah, I don't know if it's related to this. These are on the same line. There must be something with the width calculation is not right. I'll have to look into it. And what else? I think there was, there's some other frame bugs where the frame connections were not correct. And what else? Oh yeah, so in the other version of the game, in this one, yeah, my inventory, I need to make this so the frame, if you're in a frame and you try to draw outside of it, then it should hide that. So that way one frame can't totally destroy the whole user interface. Hope you achieve that 1,000 goal soon. Which 1,000 goal? Do you mean $1,000? Yeah, it'd be nice to get up to $1,000 a month in revenue. I think actually last month was like 600 from ad revenue, which is it's still not, it's not 1,000, but the subscribers and all that stuff are going up. So hopefully that trend continues, because it seems, when you compare what I'm doing here with all the consulting stuff I was doing, this doesn't make as much money, but at least there's like growth. So maybe there's hope for the future. But anyway, I think I've enumerated my the bug fixes I need to do for this week, and I proved that at least doesn't crash with the frames, or does deadlock in at least one case. But anyway, I'll probably call it a night there, and so next Saturday I'll try and be back and do a little bit more of the same thing, and then hopefully I'll have a bit more progress on my actual help menu. So anyway, see you guys next week.